Hello YouTube, welcome to my kitchen. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you what our family ate for the whole month of November. So for the whole month of November, I had kept track of all the groceries that I bought for our family and how much it cost. You can check that out in another video that I put up. And today I'll be sharing with you all the meals that I made throughout the month of November, breakfasts, lunches, suppers, and hopefully just to inspire you to cook something new. I know for myself, we can get into a rut of cooking the same thing over and over. And so it's nice to see new recipes and try out new things and to cook good, healthy food for our families. So let's get started. I have the first week here, which started on a Monday, November 1st. I do have some clips of the food, but not of every single meal that I made because that would be a lot. But on that Monday, we started off with oatmeal with banana and almond butter. And usually we top it with whatever we want. The kids like to put maple syrup on it. For lunch that day, there was leftovers and homemade pizza pockets. So my husband and my oldest son probably got leftovers because they have microwaves at work. And my younger two got the homemade pizza pockets, which I make with like pita bread and sauce, pepperoni, and shredded cheese on the inside. And then supper that night, we had takeout because Micah had gotten his learner's permit for driving that day. So we celebrated with some pizza from a restaurant. And then on the next day, Tuesday, for breakfast, I made egg and sausage burritos, which is like a scrambled egg with sausage and salsa served in a tortilla. And then for lunch that day, they had chicken sandwiches and charcuterie. And so charcuterie, basically, I just sent sliced pepperoni and cheese and crackers, maybe some pickles or olives or veggies for my younger two who can't microwave things at school. So it's a fun little snacky lunch for them. And then for supper that night, we had harissa, which is shown here in the crock pot. It's a soup made with barley and chicken. And then on the side, we had a salad with that. So the following day, we had miscellaneous things for breakfast. Everybody had what they felt like, toast or cereal. And I like to have a yogurt bowl, which is yogurt and berries with some walnuts or another type of nuts and a little bit of syrup. Then for lunch, we all had chicken salad sandwiches with some veggies on the side. And we always drink SodaStream or water alongside that. So Wednesday night for supper, we were at a friend's house and we had fajitas there, chicken and beef fajitas, and they were delicious. The next morning, Thursday, egg and bacon cheese breakfast sandwiches. Lunch, some deli sandwiches. And then for supper, lazy cabbage rolls, which I make with cabbage and rice. And this one had sausages and tomato sauce. On Friday, I don't have any clips of the food that we ate, but for breakfast, we made cheese bread, which is like grated cheese on naan, and also za'atar bread, where you use the za'atar spice. It's an Armenian breakfast that they have. And then for lunch, there was leftovers and deli sandwich. And for supper that night was Fun Friday, and so we had barbecue hamburgers. Then on Saturday morning for breakfast, we had ful, which is fava beans and veggies with cumin. And it's very filling for breakfast. It's an Armenian dish as well. And so that keeps us full for a while. So that day we just had pretty much snacks, kind of, not really an official lunch. And then for supper, we had beef stew, which I had made in the crock pot. And we took, we went out into the woods and ate with friends in the woods, so that was really nice. Then for Sunday morning, we had banana oatmeal pancakes, which are easy to mix up in the blender with bananas, eggs, oatmeal, and a bit of vanilla and milk. And so I cooked those up on the griddle, and everybody enjoyed that before we went off to church that day. Then for lunch that day, we had spaghetti and salad. And then for supper, we had nachos with cheese and salsa, olives, onions, and hot pepper. It's a favorite for all. So the second week of November, that Monday morning, we had crustless quiche, which is a quiche with no crust. It's made with eggs, milk, cheese, and veggies. And then we had toast and a smoothie with that. Then for lunch, it was either leftovers or deli sandwich. And for supper, homemade Italian poutine. Then on Tuesday, November 9th, breakfast was miscellaneous, whatever everybody felt like having that morning. And then for lunch, we had squash soup, which I'd made the evening before, with a deli sandwich alongside it. And then for supper, I made vegetarian enchiladas, which have black beans and corn and veggies and cheese wrapped in tortillas with salsa on top. On Wednesday morning, we had a berry smoothie and toast. So the berry smoothie is very easy. I put frozen berries with banana and milk and honey in the blender and mixed it all around, and it's nutritious and delicious. And then for lunch that day, it was either leftovers or sandwich. And then supper, barbecue pork with potatoes and salad on the side. Thursday morning, we had egg and bacon toast sandwich. Then lunch was either leftovers or sandwich. And supper that night was homemade chicken nuggets and potato wedges and broccoli, which I made with our son Ezra. You can see that in our video, Cooking with My Son. That Friday morning, we had waffles for breakfast. I had actually made these up the day before, and they're easy to reheat in the toaster for a quick breakfast on a school morning. We like to top ours with some yogurt or berries, banana, and of course maple syrup on the top. And then for a lunch that day, it was chicken sandwiches. And then for supper, homemade pizza on a real easy pizza dough that I make with pizza yeast. And then we top it with all of our favorite toppings. Saturday morning, it looks like it was miscellaneous. Everybody kind of ate what they wanted. And then for lunch, I made this nice red lentil soup with crusty bread. And then for supper, we had what's called chicken and rice and everything spice. So it's chicken and chickpeas and veggies and spices, and it's really delicious. Then to finish off the week, for breakfast on Sunday, we had a vegetarian omelet, and then we had a late lunch at my brother-in-law's house. We had fish there and some great Armenian food. Unfortunately, I don't have a clip of that. I should have taken one. Everything was delicious there. On to week number 3, starting Monday, November 15th. We had oatmeal for breakfast. We had sandwich or leftover soup from Saturday for lunch. And then for supper, we had a pasta and zucchini dish with meat sauce that I made. And we had crusty bread alongside that. The following day on Tuesday, we had chocolate chip pancakes for breakfast. Again, leftovers or a tuna sandwich for lunch. And then supper, barbecue pork loin with rice and some roasted squash on the side of that. Wednesday, scrambled eggs with salsa. And lunch for the kids, they had a tuna pita wrap. And at home, I made some hamburger soup, which was enjoyed with some crusty bread on the side. And then for supper that night, I made some chicken fried rice, which was very good, chicken and peas and corn. and soy sauce, and also scrambled eggs in it. Then on Thursday morning, we had scrambled eggs with cheese and crusty bread on the side. For lunch, there was once again leftovers or charcuterie for the two younger boys in their school lunches. And then supper that evening, we had Bourbon Chicken, which is chicken in a sauce that's made with soy sauce and ginger and garlic and honey, and could use rum, but I used apple juice in it. And then we had that with potatoes and vegetables. And then Friday morning for breakfast, we had pita with cheese. I just grate some cheese on a pita bread and toast in the oven. And then lunch, I guess we all had different things. I just put in miscellaneous. And then supper was our Fun Friday steak night. So we had steak and home fries done in the deep fryer and salad on the side. We had a steak left over, so for Saturday morning breakfast, I made steak and eggs with some onion and green pepper and cheese, and we had crusty bread on the side. And then for lunch, we had a deli sandwich with some chips on the side. And then that evening, we had been working all afternoon, so we just got pizza for that evening supper. And then Sunday breakfast, I don't have anything written, so it must have been miscellaneous stuff that we all grabbed and felt like having. And then for lunch, I made this sausage and cabbage with noodles casserole. I prepared it all before going to church and had it in the oven ready for when we came home. And then that evening for supper, we had leftovers. So I guess we probably had leftover casserole. I had leftover of the Bourbon chicken and probably the chicken fried rice. So we finished all that up. On to the last week of November, starting Monday, November 22nd. For breakfast, we had sausage and potato skillet with easy over eggs on the side. So I basically have like hash browns and green pepper, onions with sliced up sausage and in a skillet, and then add the eggs. And then lunch, again, leftovers or a deli sandwich. And supper that evening is what we call Isabel Spaghetti. Basically, it's spaghetti with olive oil and garlic and chili pepper. We call it Isabel Spaghetti because long ago in college, a friend, Isabel, showed us how to make it. So we just call it Isabel Spaghetti. But there's lots of garlic in it, and you can make it as spicy as you want. So it's really nice. It's a little vegetarian meal that we enjoy. And with that, we had kale salad. On Tuesday morning, we had cinnamon raisin toast with a berry smoothie to go with that. And then for lunch, we had leftovers and deli sandwich. And then supper, I spent a lot of the day making some Armenian food. I made sarma, which is grape leaves stuffed with mincemeat and rice, and also some burak, which is filled with cheese. And then we had sweet potato fries on the side of that. The following morning, we had pancakes for breakfast. And then for lunch, the two older boys had leftovers for their lunch. And we were on the road, my husband and our youngest. So we had A&W while we were traveling. And then for supper, the three of us traveling, we ate at a friend's house. But I had left a tuna noodle casserole for the boys at home. And so that's what they enjoyed for supper at home that night. On Thursday morning, we had cream of wheat hot cereal for breakfast. And then for lunch, there were leftovers of the tuna casserole. And then supper, I made beef chipotle bowls from beef ribs and then everything Mexican on top. It's kind of like at the restaurant Chipotle in the US, and it's something that we all enjoy. On to Friday morning, we had an egg, cheese, avocado breakfast sandwich. And then for lunch, leftovers. I guess there was one person that had leftover beef chipotle bowl, and the rest of us had miscellaneous. Supper that night, we had fish fillets with potatoes and green beans. And then on Saturday, again, we had fool. I had showed that. That's the fava beans and the veggies. Lunch, miscellaneous, probably sandwich type things. And supper that evening was chicken pie and baked potato with green beans on the side. And then Sunday breakfast, bagels. And lunch, we had a big lunch that day with family. So we had roast beef and chicken and different side dishes and dessert. So there was a lot of food. So we just had the one combined meal for lunch supper that day. Okay, we are on the last 2 days of November, the 29th and 30th. So on the morning of the 29th, well, looks like we had squash pie. There was squash pie left over from the day before. And hey, that's healthy. It's squash and eggs and milk. So we ate that. For lunch, then we had some leftovers and snacks. And for supper, I made squash soup again and bread and veggies. On the last day of November, the 30th, for breakfast, we had scrambled omelet with vegetables, probably green pepper and onion, and cheese in it. And then for lunch, the kids had snacks and leftovers in their lunch probably. And for myself and my husband, I made this chickpea stew, which is really good. It's made with chickpeas and carrots, coconut milk, chicken broth, spinach. It's really filling and tastes really good. And then for our supper, we had pork chops that I baked in the oven with some cream of mushroom soup and a breadcrumb topping, and then mashed potatoes and peas and corn on the side. So that's all the meals for the month of November. I hope you enjoyed seeing all these things, and I hope it sparked some interest for you to cook good things for your family and to get into your kitchen and make something new. Thank you everyone for watching today's video. If you like cooking and baking videos, please subscribe so you don't miss what's happening in Mary's Kitchen. And until then, may God bless you with his love, joy, peace, and good health. Bye.